Yo, what is up, guys? Welcome to week 6 of the Sound Lab. This week I'm going to be showing you guys how I made another sound in one of my tracks. This one's actually a collab with my buddy Nikolai. Make sure you guys go and follow him. I posted all his socials in the description in the video. He's the one who actually made this sound. Let me show you guys how he made this sound. So it's from an unreleased track of ours called Adrenaline. And this is what it sounds like. Alright, so the sound we're going to be making is this bass right here. Alright, so I hope you guys like that bass. Let's jump into it. Okay, so before we jump into making this sound, if you're new to the channel, make sure you click that subscribe button below so you can stay up to date with new faceplant tutorials. I'll be putting out a new tutorial every week, guys. So make sure you click that subscribe button. Alright, so let's jump into this. Let's open up faceplant here. Now instead of remaking this sound, I'm just going to turn all the effects off here. It was kind of cool because I noticed that Nikolai used a lot of the same effects I would. A lot of the same techniques as well, so it made for a cool collab. Let me know what you guys think of it, by the way, in the comments. We'll be dropping that at some point. But anyway, you are here for the tutorial, so let's start making this sound. So the very first thing he did, it looks like, was clicked and created a wavetable. Went and chose analog, basic shapes from the Serum wavetables, and then set the frame to 150. So not a very cool sound yet. But once we start slapping these effects on here, it's going to really come to life. Also, I think I have a fat rack. So let's close this and turn that off. Alright, so before we even do anything in the patch, we want to set this pitch bending up. So click configure, and that will pop up in faceplant. And then we're going to want this pitch wheel over here. So click the keyboard to open that up, and then click the pitch wheel. Map that. I already have it mapped. And then to draw in your automations, right click, show automation in new lane. Then all I did was just draw this pitch down. So definitely a cheesy sound right now. Let's start adding to it. So down in the bottom, he clicked and created this LFO and made this wobble shape. That's what's giving it that like wah 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 kind of sound. So I'll leave that up for a second. You guys can remake that shape or make a new shape if you want. And then the rate is set to 816. First thing that's mapped to is the level, this wavetable. That's going 31%. And also the phase going 31%. So click in the window, in the generators window, sorry, and create a analog. It's going to be our second wavetable here. We're going to stack these on top of each other inside of the group, instead of I was showing you before where I have this outside the group and I'm using it for FM. So this is just layering this waveform over this one. Set it to sawtooth. I think it's there by default. And then just map the LFO to the level as well. 30%. The phase 30%. Turn the sync up to 2.086. And then also map that LFO to that. And now we have a nice layered sound. You can really hear the sync on that saw wave. Now, cool thing about phase plant is you can create effects within the generators window as well. So you can add this distortion or filter. So he has this filter added in, and he has it set to a high pass. I liked his use of filters in this sound. This is just going to give it that nice vocal sound as that filter is sweeping up. So the cutoff is set to about 440. And then map that LFO right to that cutoff, 30%. So the sound is definitely getting there. But let's jump into the effects window now. The first effect he added is this Combs filter. Love the Combs filter. Set it to 607 Hz, and then just a slight automation from the LFO, just about 4%. And that's just going to add a little movement to that frequency of that Combs filter. Next, throw on a distortion. Keep the default settings. Next, slap on a saturator. Another high pass filter. This one he had the cutoff up at 600. And he's got that LFO map 30%. And that's just going to add even more of that vocal texture to that low mid frequency, which is really what we're going for here. Haven't really messed with resonator much, but I'll definitely be using it more now. He's got that set to E4, the mix all the way up to K 4.6, intensity 32%, and finally, to top it off, a ring mod. The mix all the way up. I'll match these settings, and then let's see what the sound sounds like. Now it's still not quite there. What we really need to add, get the final touch, is this fabric. And that, guys, is how Nikolai made this sound in our collab called Adrenaline. We dropping soon, still unreleased. Let's check that again in context. Alright, I hope you guys like that sound. Once again, new tutorials every week. I hope you guys keep coming back. Let me know what you think of these tutorials in the comments. Until then, make sure you're washing your hands, staying safe out there. Later, guys.